yeah, that's kind of brought me to where I am now. And yeah, right now I'm still kind of pushing, developing this beneficial bacterial microbiome report, primarily targeted at vermicompost and compost producers, or people making diverse communities of biological inoculants like vermites and extracts and stuff like that. And yeah, I haven't put too much work into it lately because I have a 9-month-old now that I'm taking care of. So the last 9 months or so, I haven't done nearly as much as I would have liked. But I'm kind of just set all of that aside so I could focus on my kids. But I'm looking to start getting back into it now. As my youngest Austin, he's getting a little older, a little more predictable, and I might be able to get some work done during his naps and stuff. But yeah, trying to push a biotech startup and take care of small children has proved challenging.
As someone who has been self-employed since about 17 and had 3 kids and worked out of the home a lot, I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
Super challenging. And it's like as soon as you get on a roll, somebody's awake, somebody's crying,
yeah. You need like a few solid hours to really start getting into this stuff, and trying to do all this in like an hour at a time is just not really that feasible. So I'm waiting until I feel like I have that solid chunks of time to work, and I'm not sacrificing too many other things to do it.
Well, I'm hugely respect your position, my friend. Balance is no joke.
Yeah.
It's got to be the toughest thing on the planet to actually achieve. We can try, but it's the achievement.
Yeah, it's
the important thing.
Yeah, it's tough. We don't have any grandparents around either, so it's like just my wife and I for the most part. So
you're on your own.
It's been tough, yeah.
Well, let's roll it back a minute. Did you actually graduate with an environmental engineering license?
No, I'm not like a licensed engineer. I don't know if there's licensing for that. There's mostly like the professional engineering degrees, and those people, they're highly sought after for like water treatment stuff. But I'm not really like an engineer. Like I can build a bridge or design a water treatment plant. I consider myself more of a microbial community engineer, and there's no licensing for that.
Yep. Dude, I'm a soil biologist, soil engineer, and same. It's a nascent industry. There's soil scientists. They study chemistry and physical soil. They don't even look at biology.
Right. Yeah. And some of the grants that I wrote, like I wrote an NSF seed fund grant for like $250,000 to try and get started, and I'll pay myself a salary to try and do this full time. And like some of the reviewer feedback I got was like, well, you're not a soil scientist. Like what do you, like, how do you, I'm like, this is such a new thing. Like soil scientists don't understand this. It's like a very biology driven thing. That's the understandings in its infancy, in my opinion, especially like 4 years ago. So yeah. So you run into that. So I've been running into that a bit, trying to get funding. Is like, why should we give you money if you're not a soil scientist trying to work in soils? So,
and where's your letters behind your name?
Right. Well, I mean, I thought having a PhD might lend me some credibility, but not as much as I would like.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the system has churned out so many PhDs that they just don't have the value they used to. It was like the legal system. Agreed. They turned out so many fucking lawyers that it just turned USA into a fucking shitstorm of suits. Everyone's suing everybody, and no one's getting in.
It's I found it challenging to part of it's my fault, but it's been challenging for me to like find a job at a PhD level because there's so many brilliant people out there with PhDs, and like I kind of thought of trying to become a professor or something like that, but only somewhere between like 1 to 3% of all PhD graduates become a professor. So it's about the odds of like playing in the NFL or something like that.
I was having that conversation over the weekend, my friend, and it's sad because they're competing against all these great minds for only these tiny little opportunities, and the system is so backlogged with tenure that no one's getting in to create these new, what I want to call new and improved versions of education that are so critical for us to move forward.
Agreed. Right? Yeah.